Ach, sé ééid ar an móthgurtí chuige is a sé mar éan. Everyone, Maysaid, back with the Road to 56 after it got updated for the patches for No Compromise, No Surrender. Don't have the DLC yet, but I do have some of the. But that does mean I do have some of the mechanics at least. This whole naval dominance instead of naval supremacy. Playing as Aaron because I know how it works. I want to see how much it's changed. So, I'm gonna start off by just doing my usual thing. Go through some of the army stuff first. Try and unlock the bonuses here. Because that bonus to the Ford V8 that's motorized, I can use that later to get this. Like, the idea is to try. Also, a lot of these things are locked behind having researched some basic things, so that'll give me some time to do that. Now, let's start off with research. There's nothing unusual here. Now, there isn't a building to produce more coal yet, but we can leave that for now. Again, not much here I can really go with. Let's get the early truck out of the way first. And some music.
Yes, sir!
As usual, we have an absolutely useless army, which hasn't really changed all that much compared to today. Or rather, it's tiny and does nothing.
Orders!
Basically, what I'm going to be doing is just sitting along the southeast coast, and then join the Allies to get the north back. There is a way to do that in this mod, and we're just going to be sitting there and be as big a thorn in a distraction to the Axis. Really, there's not much to say about that. So, one thing that's come into this now is coal. We have a minor amount of it down here in Munster. In the base game, there is actually some in Leinster as well. And honestly, we really should have peat available because we still use a lot of that. Anyway, gonna get on with this. Gonna put this here, and I'm gonna see what I think there might be some new naval projects. So good, put a naval engineering facility, and naturally aviation. Build up a few of these. You're not going to build up as much in Wicklow because there's all the Wicklow Mountains to just poke the Germans back in. Well thought out those.
Ready to move!
Well, I told you guys to start training up. Yep, do our usual Mayo shite. Let's get this out of the way. Artillery, King of Battle, we want as much of that as possible. Let me see, how much this actually changed? I think it may have changed then. Oh no, it hasn't. That's requires the DLC, I think. There's something coming about them lowering the combat width to 2, paradox lowering this to 2 instead of 3. I'll just be going with support artillery because it's cheaper and it doesn't have any terrain penalties. Now, while I'm waiting for... I'll wait until I actually have this out of the way. Army reform to get a decrease for land doctrine. Then modernization. Might go into doctrine efforts and war games so I can start getting more of these out of the way. Again, it'll all just buy me a bit of time to get some of the basics out of the way first. I suppose it's probably a good point to go over the doctrines. So this is the main thing that's changing in the DLC and the patches for it. Now, asymmetrical warfare is something that Road to 56 adds. If I was in the base game, I'd just go with Grand Battle Plan because it works. So instead of manually building up XP and then getting a new doctrine, we have to earn them through mastery. In fact, it kind of reminds me a bit of the it's been probably a decade since I played Hearts of Iron 3, the predecessor to this game. There was a thing called practical knowledge and theoretical knowledge. You could research theoretical knowledge, but practical knowledge would only be earned through, say, using units in combat. And it would add a bonus to research as well, because you're learning the hard way how things work. So, let's have a look at these. Mobile warfare. That would instantly grant us extra speed and planning speed. And if we complete mastery, we gain reinforcement rate, planning speed, great size. Superior firepower. Support artillery would do 5% extra. Line artillery would do 10% extra. That's instant. If we went with it and went all the way down, we'd have less supply consumption, which is always good. The grade size is just nice to have if you're playing as a miner. Preparation decay rate would be good. Support companies having more organization wouldn't be bad either, because they do tend to hurt that, I think. And recovery rate, nice to have. Mass assault. 48. So basically, an extra 48 hours worth of supplies for units, and out of supply penalties will be reduced immediately, and reduce them even further. Grand battle plan, we get extra planning, which is always good. We go all the way up to full mastery, we get more reinforcement, more entrenchment, more coordination. Asymmetrical warfare, we instantly gain extra entrenchment speed, out of supply penalties reduced even further. Recon gives us a chance to capture equipment, that might be something. Resistance growth speeds, that would be not maybe just an extra thing to have. Damage reduction against cast. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with asymmetrical warfare because it's just too good to pass up for what we are here. Now on the naval doctrine, right, Fleet and Beam instantly grants capsule ship armor and battleships have more organization. Raid interdiction, we instantly gain more convoy raiding. Our submarines are better at spotting and are better organized. Base strike, we do better at striking ports with carriers. Usually in this mod, I end up going with sea dominance because we can get a little extra dockyard output, and destroyers and convoys are cheaper. Though I'm probably going to change that and go with the raiding fleet, because for us it's going to be a hell of a lot better. It actually fits a bit better, is what I want to say. I'm sorry. It's going to take a while to get through. And for air power, I almost always go with battlefield support because we can get that 20% agility to close air support. That's going to be huge for us. It's on there. Immediately though, it gives us extra air support efficiency. That's good. Strategic destruction, I don't really do strat bombing as earned. It's not worth it. Operational integrity, although that might not be bad either. If I decide to go with fighters that can then dip into casts later. You know what? I think I might just go with operational integrity. All right, first things first. Let's get. I'm gonna save my physical power to try and gain a Chief of Navy and then Chief of Air Force, because we're gonna need those. Army reform's almost done. Modernization, motorization, and then the doctrine effort. After I've got that, I'm going to start on the industrial build-up. You can say that requires basic machine tools, which we now have. That requires construction 1, which is in progress. I'm going to go concentrate industry because we're not going to be building a lot of small. We're going to be building the same thing over and over, really. And we're not going to really get. If we stick with the Allies, we're not really going to get air raided. And as usual, these are all locked behind choosing something. Spy agency still can't build that because I don't have to have the factories for it. Honestly, I think there is a setup in the option in the the mod setup to give every country a spy agency. I think that should really be there by default. I don't know why it isn't. I'm going to get this out of the way because we will need anti-air at some point. Gonna go with the reliability because we aren't going to be producing a lot of trucks. I just don't want to lose the ones we do build. This one is going to go on fuel storage. We will need that as a precursor to synthetic oil experiments. We're going to need that. Now, I am going to go with this, but I'm probably going to... with the sorry. Yeah, actually, no, what was I going to say? Yeah, this guy, neither are really good for the raiding we're going to be doing, but I'm going to go with Seamus O'Mearish, or John Morris, as he was known in the First World War. Yeah, the guy did serve in the Royal Navy during the First World War, because Ireland was part of the UK back then. Ended up, he was basically a native Irish speaker from Clifton, somewhere up around here. And during the War of Independence, this town got burnt to the ground by the Blacks and Tans, the auxiliary police. A bunch of thugs that the Brits had. Can't imagine why that made people dislike them so much. There you go, this is our core Home Guard unit. It's not great, but it'll do to start. Actually, we'll call this the well, yeah, just for the hell of it. And garrison division. About 6 divisions in total, that should be enough to keep this out of the way. Nice way to sign a mile to these guys. That builds one infrastructure in the place I need to build it, and adds another to Leinster, which I already have, so it's useless. So I guess it goes straight into expanding our military capacity. And I'm going to start cozying up to the Yanks to gain some industrial support later. So yeah, trade war still happening. Anti-treaty IRAs still making a nuisance of themselves. I'm gonna save this for the concentrated industry too. This is going to go into forward V8 because look how quick it's going to be. 39 days, maybe 38 if I use the mile. Which means I might actually have to get something there. I'm actually gonna save the trucks for a bit. Get these out. Just start stockpiling these. Or actually, I'll put one of them on support equipment because we never have enough of that stuff. So doctrine, organization first for reinforcement. Basically, give them a nice, well-rounded start. Alright, save my power for ground support or air safety. Probably go with ground support because that's what we're going to be using our Air Force for. Alright, so go with recon because it's cheap and it actually is going to be useful to us. Reason I'm going with recon is this mod does add sniper teams. So cavalry and motorized recon buff infantry soft attack and hard attack. Well, they buff infantry soft attack. Special forces get buff to hard attack on top of that. Like, it's just such a simple thing. I don't know why it wasn't in the base game to begin with. Paradox just being Paradox, I guess. Right. Support equipment. Then trucks. Invite American investors. Okay, so Concentrate Industry 2 won't be done by the time I get this out of the way, which means I can't go straight into air industry expansion. Alright. Though I can go straight into automobile industry and then air industry expansion. I should be able to do it by then. Oh yeah, I'll be able to do it. Put some support artillery on these guys. Look how much of a difference it makes to all our soft attack, defense, whatever. I mean, there is no reason to not use this. Now, let's just go in here. Oh, I still haven't actually selected anything here. Burp. So on second thoughts, let's just go with... But if I choose this guy, it means I can't use him as for interception. Okay, let's just go with it here. Right, automobile industry gives us some extra factories which we badly need. And some trucks which we could sell. Once this is done, I'll stop cozying up to the Yanks. In fact, I think I can probably get away with that now. How much does it increase by? $3 a month. Ah, that's not too bad. Oh, that's new. Democratic Republic of the Congo declared war on the Belgian Congo. I remember saying that before. Yeah, it looks like the icon's just very slightly out there. So just a civil war in there. Far enough away that I can't do anything about it, and it's not my immediate concern. The next bonus is going to go on construction 3 because that'll help with the trade war issue we have, or help offset it, and we need to unlock encourage foreign investors. Here, nope. Gonna research submarines because I am gonna need them. Don't have any miles for them yet, but what are you gonna do? Now we can get more of these. Gonna put them into trucks and guns. Should probably start queuing up some more factories now I think about it. Now, in the base game, there's now a reason to actually change to stay on partial mobilization instead of war economy. It means we require less energy on our factories, less coal to fuel our factories. However, that's not really going to be the thing for me, is it? Oh, fuck off, fascists. Hey, more people. Well, that didn't last long. Right, asymmetrical warfare, here we come. Now, here's where another change that comes in. Instead of going down through an old focus tree, a bit like these were, just wait until you have XP and then clicking a button here. We now earn mastery. And from training we do gain some of it, but not a lot. Where was I? So we can choose a few different things in sub-doctrines now. Like defensive postures, which grants extra entrenchment, mounted infantry useless supply. That does give us a nice little chunk there. If we complete that, we gain extra entrenchment speed, extra defense, soft attack, more entrenchment, more organization. Mobile infantry gives us a bonus for motorized and overwhelming fire. Nice. Extra speed. Basically, that's really if you're going with motorized or mechanized infantry. For us, not really an issue. This means less supply use, which we're not going to be using that much, to be honest. So it's not really much use to us. Assault infantry. Now that's interesting. Okay, let me just assign something. And March. So I need to wait for this to happen, which is going to be around the end of June. May, March, April, May. Get one of these doctrine reduction out of the way, and get back to walking on about this. Now, assault infantry. That means we instantly gain extra soft attack from support artillery. Releasing that means they get even better. So it's kind of like a blend of the old superior firepower with a few other things. I do like that. And Great War Infantry, on the other hand, is just we build forts faster, our leg infantry have better defense. If we complete that, then engineers will give even more entrenchment. Field hospitals give even more trickle back, which would be nice with the few people we have. Thanks for soft attack and breakthrough. Like, if we're going all in on infantry, that might not be too bad. Then, have a quick look at the artillery and combat support ones. I'm just going to turn down the music a bit because it is starting to... where's the music? Sorry, it's just starting to distract me. Sub-doctrine for artillery and combat support. This means we'd have artillery would have less line width. That's probably more for line artillery, which I'm not even going to bother with, so nope. Air cavalry. That requires helicopters. Siege artillery requires super heavy howitzers. Which I'm probably not going to bother with either. Anti-tank front line. That rebuffs line artillery and anti-tank, which I'm probably not going to bother with. Mobile recon and assault. Armor cars I might go with at some point, but not immediately. So recon increases speed, would increase speed even further, which... Field engineering, that just buffs engineers, which we are going to have. So I'll probably go with that. And the armor subtree, I'm not going to have tanks, this is not going to happen too much. Breakthrough, no use. Blitz and a research bonus for heavy tank. Mobile defense. Again, not really too useful. Streamlined deployment. None of those are really useful to me. Operations. Mission type tactics, so we gain plus 15 in organization, that's good. Infiltration tactics. Max planning. Do have to go all the way down to actually get it useful though. Deep battle. Tanks are more organized. Hell no. Nope. Rapid domination. Reinforce rate would be good. Line artillery, meh. But infantry and motorized mechanized, nice. Grand assault, more breakthrough, more soft attack, more planning. Desperate defense means we gain recruitable population of 5%. That would be huge for a small country like us. So between these it might be infiltration, might be rapid domination or desperate defense, but we will see. But I'm a while away from that anyway. Sorry for the quick cut there, I had to get some coffee. Coffee machine finished. So, where was I? Oh, the Sino-Japanese War has kicked off. Finally got a Chief of Air Force. Coffee. Static oil, get machine tooling, or improve machine tools. So waiting for all this to happen. After the doctrine effort, I'm gonna go to the naval dockyard effort to try and gain some dockyards. Like, I've got some basic submarines coming. I'm gonna need them. There we get this out of the way so I can build more steel mills and aluminium mills later. Select a grand doctrine. Fleet and being gives us... Yeah, I've gone over this already, haven't I? Well, trade interdiction it is. Of course, I'm not getting any mastery right now because I have nothing here. And relief of commands because I am a democratic nation and they're pretty much who we go with. May, June, July. This should be ready by the end of July. Get our infantry specialists out of the way. You probably won't level up enough to become an infantry expert, but that's fine with me. Because we have other ways to get infantry experts. Amy going down here. Deciding with phenofoil, getting this, which turns our current debuff into a massive buff, and then screwing with history by going with this. But I need to wait for the election to take place in the first place. Alright. Cavalry or motorized. This does require fuel, but it's not like we're going to be using all that much of it. And give these guys cavalry recon, just some snipers while they're digging into a port, digging around a port. Does use up some of my XP that I need for doctrines, but I'm okay with that. So yeah, this should be complete by just the end of the month, which means the election will have happened almost immediately afterwards. Humanitarian tragedy indeed. Let me go with naval refit yards. Aluminium production. Not aluminium, that's the American term. It just rubs me the wrong way. I know it's silly, but what are you gonna do? Gonna immediately go into reclaim the treaty ports and then the Era Act because that will get rid of our debuffs entirely. Well, not entirely, we'll still have a debuff with what you call them? We'll still have a couple of debuffs, but we won't have an economic one. I'm gonna build about 20 of these. They're gonna be very cheap ones, and I'm just gonna be as big a thorn in the German's side as I can get away with here. Royalists are doing their thing. I can go with... what was it? Ah yes, I could go with Great War Infantry. I'm gonna save it for this because the recruitable population is gonna be huge. That reminds me, can I... oh yes, training exercises, motorize the army. This is a recurring thing we can use while at peace to... or to create some extra XP. I can't remember if it requires us to be at peace. I do know that that this does not, but of course do nothing. And this is a one-off thing that will make motorized cheaper. Like, there's no reason not to go with it. Ooh, West artillery, soft attack. And fast trajectory calculations. Right. I need to get engineers because I will need them. Need to do something about my stability actually, so next bit of political power goes towards improved worker conditions. And you can see we are gaining some mastery. 0.3 a month from whatever it was. Yeah. Just from training. Not sure what the reserve mastery conversion really means. It was just I had some banked while I was waiting for things to happen. So at 100 mastery, that means any states that get occupied by the enemy will suffer more damage to their garrisons. That is going to be big. It'll take a while for all this to come through, but basically we gain one immediate benefit from this, and then everything else becomes stuff we earn over time. And I'm just going to very quickly build a few more of these because I am going to need them. And we are no longer short of manpower. Joy. So, after this, the way I usually do this is push the Constitution to gain that advisor, then go and abolish the upper house because it gives us base stability and political power. The idea is I will then go straight into gain that advisor to start clawing back some of the political power we've been missing. New Admiral, media personality, useless. Shaft is. The Naval Service. Fancy? No, but it'll work. I do have a mod that's up in the Steam Workshop, which I haven't updated for this yet, which just adds Irish unit names to Irish units. It's kind of useless and it doesn't fully work with Road to 56. I should probably create a sub-mod for it. I've also discovered that it doesn't allow it blocks achievements in Iron Man. Boom. Hiss. Unfair. And the arse, but there you have it. Alright, improved working conditions. Should have done that ages ago. Anything here? Nope. Maybe some better upper artillery a little bit. I know this does cost political power, but I may as well get it out of the way. Then, basically, push the Constitution, abolish the upper house, place the monarch with president for extra stability, infectious disease wage, and then I'll probably start going down all this industrial tree to get towards reform the taxes. Actually, no. Change the plan. Go with this because it gives us 0.5 political gain base. That's too good to pass up. Do I go with Yeah, I'm gonna go with Great War Infantry. I know it's not flashy, but if we're gonna be sitting in here and daring the Mustache Man to hurl people at us so we can yeet them back into the sea, I think it makes more sense to just sit there. Finally, we no longer have that buff. Right, obviously I'm gonna go with submarines. Now, long-range submarines requires us to have researched cruisers, and means we're more likely to actually hit something with our torps. Fleet operations penetrate screens better, and eventually we'll get better range, better detection, better attack. It's always good. More organized submarines. Better at spotting, better at raiding, better at hitting. Capital hunters, less likely to be spotted. That would be nice if I had the cruisers, but I don't. Fleet operations might be a good idea. Mine laying, screw that. Actually, I think wolf pikes might be a good idea. Right, where am I going with this? Navy focus because it means we'll get this facility a little quicker, and our ships will be more organized.
Orders!
Station 1. Get this out of the way because it'll help with the air facility and give us some bonus towards having a breakthrough for radar. Oh good, we bypassed that thing entirely. So that's an extra 35 days that I don't need to spend on something. I'm gonna pair them up to try it because having one fleet is probably enough for now. Maybe I'll split them out later into single units, but the idea is have them cover each other while they do stuff. Go with something here. I'll leave it for now. Can we get a doctrine here? Probably going to be battlefield support because... Actually, I'm going to go with fighters. Actually, screw all that. Let me see what I can actually get if I do go with this. I have to actually... Blah. I'll go with them. I'll go with battlefield support. It's kind of what we're going to be using our planes for around here. I should probably just start designing a few. Yeah, I should have done that earlier. I'm an idiot. Yes, I know. You don't need to tell me. And the reason I put these facilities in specific cities that are victory points, it just means I can actually concentrate my forces there. The reason I'm doing a radar facility down here is so I can start getting radar around here. Right, where is he? John Charles McCade. And I'm going to do some anti-fascist raids because I do not want them to be that popular. They'll also give me some extra base stability. That's always good in this game. This stability here, however, is a modifier. It gets applied after. I'm not sure if that sort of thing works with if that gets applied after, if say base stability is lowered or whatever. But I do know base stability comes first. Right. Fighter aircraft. Nope, I'm just good. Sub-doctrine for fighter aircraft could go with Homeland Air Defense. I'm not sure what the home defense factor really grants. Fighter bombers, they can do ground attack better. Medium range escorts, extra range, which would be bad for us. Airspace dominance, more air superiority. Greater chance to gain air races. Naval aviation, useless. And of all these, I'd say maybe fighter bombers if I'm going with fighters that can do close air support. But I'm probably going to be going with close air support that can do that can do air superiority. So strike aircraft first. Pinpoint strikes, they do better ground attack, or flying artillery for more air defense. Torpedoes, swarm tactics, I'm not doing naval bombers. Sea to shore air power, nope. Ground, naval, or coordination. That might actually be probably good for our immediate needs, because what I'm going to be using close air support is bombing the crap out of any Germans who get onto the land, and bombing any ships that are in the sea. Let's better engines first. Let's assign this. Right. Infectious disease wage, because less consumer goods is always nice to have. Refit yards, convoy warfare, so they gain a, I think, just instilled aggression. Leadership training, because that's always hard to level up. Spirit of division command, probably limited engagement, because damage reduction against CAS is going to be really, really helpful, and we're more likely to steal things that the Germans have left behind. The whole point of this is to just be as big a pain in the arse as possible. I'm gonna hold off on getting a spy agency until I have these facilities built. Because then it won't eat into too much into the destruction of all these ports. Oil processing out of the way, I'll need it. I'm gonna put you on patrol. I know it's I know they're not great for this sort of thing due to their low max speeds. You can see that this is now starting to increase our dominance by a minuscule amount. One thing that has changed now from the patches for No Compromise, No Surrender is you don't lose supremacy immediately, it decays and builds up over time. Nice little touch, should have been done ages ago if you ask me. Of course you didn't, but I'm going to tell you that anyway because I'm an arsehole. Alright. Get some range improvements there. Ah, yes. I'm gonna go with range because we do need that. Nice airframe, ground attack, speed, agility, range. Miters or close air support? I'm gonna go with close air support. Alright. Encourage foreign investors to gain 3 factories. Now that is something I'd like to see. Actually no. Extra stability. I know it's a modifier rather than base, but political power gain, that's always worth going for. After this, going maybe focus. Don't have the... No, I already have that. I just can't get the world tension hasn't gotten high enough for radio propaganda yet. Might as well have our military theorists out of the way. And then probably go with army regrouping. I think logistics might not be bad for now. Yeah, put these monster first, because from some of my previous games I've noticed that the Italians love to plan air raids on whatever facilities here. They can probably get there quicker from, say, from any airports out in Japan. We are losing a lot of fuel. It will be out in 3 years, but I think I can afford to leave that for now. If I put engineers up, put support to these guys, they need it. Alright, so let's put this on. Particularly useful there. Better guns. Resource pencil, I have to get that out of the way. These are now basic plane. Bomb locks so they become a base so they can do this. Do I go all in on bomb lock on close air support? This, it's not great, but it'll do. Like they can basically whittle away any planes that do get here. That's got some spare guns, I may as well sell them off. Support equipment, that always sells pretty well. And I'm just gonna accept purchase. And we sit back and see who's gonna buy it. Hopefully someone will. I'm gonna go with efficient communications because it's just too good to pass up. Positioning is just boring but practical. Once I get this, I'll go with branch independent sphere because again, air XP gain, nice to have. Cast research, yeah, who cares? France has bought some of my guns. Like, I know they're old and crap, but... And somebody bought some trucks. No one's bought the support equipment yet, but we'll see. I'll just leave it up. Munich agreements heading on as usual. Right. Right, been at this for nearly an hour. I think it's time to take a break and go do something else before my brain fries on me. So yeah, in the next episode I'll continue with this. We'll continue building up the building up our industry and prep for our initial entry into World War II. And if you like this, please leave a comment, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more nonsense. Maybe make suggestions for what to try next, or check out the games I'm working on or have made. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.